Hello and welcome to the Mindset Masterclass Part 1, an introduction to mindset. So some of you may be used to the way that I do things and how my methodology is, but if not and you're new to this, then I would like to welcome you on board and to get a nice little bit and take some value away from this and some nice little bit of information for you. So what are you going to learn? On how the mind is the most powerful thing ever created. I truly believe this. Everything we stem from is the power from our thoughts. We're then going to talk about number 2, why the thoughts we have create our destiny. You see, I truly believe that the thoughts that we actually do have, the smaller ones, they all contribute to the big end of our end goal and our destiny of where we want to be, whether it's in our body shape or our mindset and things like that. Thoughts are predetermined, so we do have a choice to go to the gym. We do have a choice to go to do a workout. Same as if the end of the thoughts, we do choose to select the right foods. We do choose to, if we don't, then the predetermined of our outcome, where we want to get to our destination, we'll probably end up picking the wrong foods, the wrong selection, the wrong choice. So the thoughts that we have to create our destination, where we want to go to, is very powerful, and with our mindset. Then we're going to go into why your mind needs a daily workout, not just the body, but the mind does too. And then finally, number 4, how to train your mind. For beginners, this is going to be, if you're new to all this, it's going to be a great insight on how you can get a daily routine going, as we can then exercise the mind to be able to believe that we can get to our final destination. Oh, the power of the mind. Everything you see, hear, touch, smell, taste and feel is created by the mind. Now the feel in capitals, that's a byproduct because we don't actually use that sense, but it's there. Now the world how we know it is just a constructive of a collaboration of all human minds put together. Everything we hear, everything we create was all through the power of mind. So everything we can hear, see, touch, smell, taste, and also feelings, it was all created through the power of the mind. So the mind is a collection of thoughts that we manifest it into things. So you can see that the power of the mind is an absolute fantastic tool and what needs to be trained on a regular basis. So let's use a description on how this can do. So we'll talk about a sausage machine. So if you put chicken in the sausage machine, the outcome is going to be chicken sausages. If you put pork in, you're going to get pork sausages. So let's flip that around now. When you've been told, or your thoughts come through and say, I'm fat, I'm ugly, and different things, that process goes through that machine, and what's going to come out is you are going to be that end product. You are going to be that kind of thing. So we try and change that mindset now going forward, so we can put in nice, clean, fresh thoughts going through that mind. So then the outcome is the one that you're after. As we go forward in this transformation, what we need to be looking for is positive vibes, positive incomes going into that machine. So then when it comes out, we're going to get that positive and transformation that you actually want. So in other words, in simple terms, your thoughts have created your reality, physiologically and physically. So basically what that means is whatever you've been thinking up until now has become your outcome of where you are today. So your thoughts have become things. We all know that I'm a great believer in quotes. This one's from James Allen. So, you are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts will take you. So basically, where you currently are now is that point, and going forward we will be getting to where you want to go through, but that takes time and a daily reoccurrence. We'll use an example. Say you're in a war and you were in a RPB in a war environment, and you had an accident and you had a leg amputated. Why do some people stay in that position, but then and others then can become Paralympians? There's a defining moment in that. So, you know, their positivity will then bring them forward. So it will take them through to go forward and to become Paralympians. So that's not to say where you currently are at the moment, where you want to go. You can change that perspective and that mindset to get to your end goal. So we have around about 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts each and every single day. To break that down, that's about 35 to 48 thoughts per minute, which has actually been questionable, but by the time you break it all down into different things, as we previously said, taste, smell, look, see, hear, all these things go through our heads and break it down. So it's very difficult to pinpoint. But at certain points, there's going to be that one or two thoughts that we take a bit further and think about even more. So what that really means is what we experience on a daily basis will influence our thoughts, therefore our reality. So then elements that we look at and really focus in on our thoughts are what we're going to take action upon to then bring it into our daily lives. So ultimately then, it's your job to stand guard on your own mind and choose empowering thoughts. So our minds have been programmed over years from childhood to take on board negativity, and then that brings us down in morale, brings us down in everything else, and then we get into that mindset of that downward spiral because we're looking at negative things. That then transpires into our day-to-day life. What we try and do is reverse that, think positive thoughts, go forward, and then it's only going to spiral upwards to be able to maintain and grab and grasp the opportunities when they come above us. So how do we do this? Well, the mind is a muscle. So whilst your physical body needs training, your mental body also needs training. So if we don't go to the gym or do our HIIT training or our exercise programs, our physical body will end up being pretty much in the same state as what we're in now. And it's pretty much exactly the same for your mental body as well. That also needs training to grasp them opportunities, to see the vision in front of us, to be able to select positive thoughts going forward, so we can then grab and grasp hold of them opportunities massively. So if it's left untrained, it will continue to make poor, unconscious decisions. So if we don't train our mind to change the trail of thoughts of what we've been making with them poor, unconscious decisions, basically we're going to continue down that path. So we need to try and intervene with that now to make better choices. However, if you plant seeds and care for it daily, it will flourish. So I like to think about my mind as like a garden. If you plant the right seeds and you water it and care for it on a daily basis, you know, by the time spring, summer turns up, you're going to have a nice flourishing back garden. But if you fail to neglect it and you don't grow any seeds, the only thing that will grow will be weeds, and weeds then multiply, and then all of a sudden it becomes a dark and dingy and not lit place, and before you know it, you're going to be riddled with all these little parasites and stuff like that you don't really want in this wonderful, picturesque garden that you're trying to create. So, training the mind. You've got to do this. You've got to treat your mind like your body. You need to exercise it daily. You've got to record data. Pretty much exactly the same as what you do if you went to the gym or per workout. You record how long it took you, how many weights you lifted, what rep range you did. Exactly the same with the mind. You would need to record down your thoughts, record down anything that's come in, all these little goals, all these little wins, everything that you come in that goes into it, all psychologically is a bit health beneficial for your mind to make sure it's training in the correct form. You reflect and evaluate it, pretty much like you would do with your workouts. You would look back at it, see if anything's improving. Did you see any massive steps forward, anything like that? You know, you would then see where your mental state was last week compared to where it is this week. Is there anything you can improve on? Spend a bit more time doing self-work, you see. So how would you do it? Well, quite simply, I use journaling, and here's some of the basics. So first thing we'd do is purchase a journal. You can use your notes in your phones, whatever you got to hand, use it. Then you need to assign yourself a bit of time, 5-10 minutes of an evening, or a morning, or lunchtime, or something like that, somewhere it's quiet, that you can go and put your entry in. And then once you assign your time, whether it's morning, evening, 5, 10, 15, it doesn't really make any difference how long. Sit down, close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, get the pen and paper, in your notes, whatever you're looking at, and just write whatever's on your mind. It doesn't even matter if it makes any sense or not. Just write whatever's on your mind. So just some other ideas when you're journaling, a bit more advanced. But in the morning, I may spend about 5 minutes just writing down a few simple things. The first one I'm going to be doing is 3 things that I'm grateful for, and it could be absolutely anything. I think this morning I wrote down that I'm grateful for having my hands. It could be for Sarah who served me my Starbucks. It could be anything. When you write it down, 2 of them realistically are pointless. One that I'm really, really thankful for. And then once you've done that, I would write down 3 goals for the day. So whether it's hitting my workout, hitting my steps, making sure that I'm eating nutritious food for the rest of the day, and that I've reached out and spoke to somebody to help change their lives. Could be 3 simple goals. Getting up on my first alarm could be another one. There's loads of options out there. So here are a few options that you can do when you're setting your goals. You've got personal, physical, emotional, spiritual, career, finances, relationships. It could be anything. If you write just these down in the morning, and then when you get back to the end of the evening, you can have a look around and see if you accomplish that. Obviously you set up the day with having them 3 goals put in place. Once you're finished, you know that you're going to be in the mindset. When you get in the evening, you can then turn around and say, did I accomplish everything that I set out today? That then it stems into being that positive, because you're more likely going to turn around and say yes, or push yourself on a little bit further in the evening to make sure that you get them done before you finish for the day. Then once you've finished mastering all that, more of an advanced technique then is you can start asking yourself a focusing question. So one question that I always ask myself at the end of the day is, if I achieve one thing today that moved me closer to my goal and or made other tasks irrelevant, what would that be? So let's look into that a little bit more. So if it was that one thing that made me move closer to my end goal, it could be a physical one, that even though I've had an awful week this week and I haven't committed myself to the workouts, what I should do, did I complete that workout? That's going to put me one step closer to my end goal. That could have done. Now, it could have been a HIIT workout, it could have been going just simply for a walk. But did I get that one goal complete to make myself going forward? And even if it took me an hour to get that walk done, that time spent doing that would also then make me get close to that goal. The question that I would like to try and answer myself each day is, if I were fearless, what would I do today? So basically, if you removed all your fears and everything else from around you, stresses and different things, what is it that you would have done today that would help you get to where you want to go to? Forget everything financially, emotionally attached. If you had no fear whatsoever in the world, what would you have accomplished today? And then when we get into the evening one, another quick 5 minutes again, maybe 10. It'll be then recapping back on again 3 things that I was grateful for the day, of whatever it could be. Then also 3 wins that I had today, and 3 challenges that I took on today. These could then be in turn your future focus, as we mentioned in the previous bit. So something that you didn't quite manage to get on board today, transfer it in, and it's a focus area ready for tomorrow. And then once we've fully got to grips with journaling and doing the 2 different elements, you can then go on and ask and answer some empowering questions. So quite simply, rather than just writing down, I went to the gym today, I did this, I did that, you can then start turning that around and ask yourself some empowering questions. here's an example for you on some empowering questions, or an empowering question. If I was looking at health, and one would be, why do I have a really energetic life? And the answer could quite simply be, because I went to bed early. So I know from that answer that by going to bed early, I wake up in a better refreshed mood, and then I've got a load of energy for the next day to keep going forward. But I already know from today that I'm going to be going to bed quite late. So I know one of my focusing areas would be to try and get to bed a little bit earlier, so I don't fall into bad routines by staying up late and different things like that. So, you know, gives me some focusing areas to go on to, and I've also got an empowering question to fall back onto. Note once writing your empowering questions down, always have in mind when you're answering them and writing them down that you're already at the end goal. Then we get on to the action steps that you can take from today's presentation. So the action steps going forward would be 1, to purchase a journal. If you really want to get into it really well, splash out the cash and get a real nice journal. Make sure it feels nice, make sure you get that nice paper in there as well. You know, it's an investment into putting yourself forward. Set an alarm into your phone for your daily journal, so that may be at 6:30 in the morning before you crack on with the rest of the day, so you spend a bit more time. And then as you get a bit more advanced, set one for about 9 o'clock in the evening, rather than watching junk on TV, looking at your phones and screens. Turn your technology off and just spend about 5, 10, 15 minutes or so of an evening writing down in the evening part, and then you'll be ready to go to bed. And begin with the basics first before advancing onto the bigger, heavier stuff. And always remember, everything you see began with a thought. What are you choosing to create? Are you choosing to create negative thoughts, or are you designing to create thoughts with abundance, or are you out there to try and get real positive vibes and positive thoughts to be able to create a better version of you? So whether it is a weight loss journey, business, financial, whatever it is, choose someone, follow them, because if they've gone through that journey themselves and been successful, if you follow them, you surround yourself with people that have been in that environment before, it's then going to rub off on you. You're then going to be in that positive mind frame. You're then going to be able to push forward and to achieve that real clarity that you're after. So, all that's been said and done, I hope you took some great value from this, a bit about the mindset and being able to activate that mind and changing your thoughts. And until the next video, I'll look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now.